All right, let's talk about something we've all felt if we've ever tackled a home project. That moment you see the final bill for materials and just, wow. Today, we're going to zero in on one thing, chimney pipe, to figure out why stuff costs so much and, more importantly, how you can stop overpaying. Let's jump in. You've been there, right? You start a project, you've got your budget all planned out, but then you get to the big box store and sticker shock. It's this super common, super frustrating experience. The final cost just seems to balloon out of nowhere. So the real question is, where is all that extra money actually going? Well, a huge part of the answer is hidden in something called the middleman markup. It's kind of hiding in plain sight in the supply chain. We're about to pull back the curtain and see exactly how a simple product gets more and more expensive at every single step before it ever gets to you. So here's the typical journey for something like a chimney pipe. It starts at the factory, makes sense, but then a distributor buys it and adds their profit. Then they sell it to a big box store who, you guessed it, adds their profit for things like shelf space and ads. And finally, you walk in and buy it. Every single one of those handoffs adds another layer of cost, and the price just climbs and climbs. But what if you could just skip all that? What if you could just bypass all those extra steps and unnecessary costs? Well, it turns out you can. It's called the factory direct model, and it's a way simpler and honestly a much smarter way to buy. I mean, just look at the difference here. It is pretty stark. On the left, you've got that long, winding, expensive traditional path, but on the right, it's a straight line. The product goes from the factory, from the people who actually make it, directly to you. All those markups in the middle, they just vanish. It's just a fundamentally more efficient way to do things. Okay, so I know exactly what some of you are thinking. Buying something so important online, it sounds cheap, but is it actually good? Is it safe? And you know what? Those are totally fair questions. So let's actually go through a quick checklist, and we'll hit the three things that really matter: safety, price, and support. We have to start with safety. We just have to. Because when you're talking about a chimney, nothing is more important. You're dealing with fire, with intense heat. The quality of those materials is absolutely non-negotiable. This should always be the first question you ask. So how do you know if it's safe? You look for this right here. UL 103 HT certification. Now that's not just some random alphabet soup. That is the official US safety standard for high-temp chimneys. It means the product has been through some seriously tough testing to make sure it can handle the heat and keep you safe. Any pipe you even think about buying, whether it's online or in a store, has to have this stamp of approval, period. Okay, so we've established the product is certified safe. But that price is still way lower. So you start to wonder, what's the catch, right? If I'm paying less, am I getting less? Is the quality just not as good? And here's the simple answer. The savings are not coming from using cheaper steel or cutting corners on quality. The savings come from a smarter system. You're not paying for a distributor's warehouse rent or for the retailer's fancy weekend flyer. You're just cutting out the middlemen. You're not cutting out the quality. And this is the last big worry people have about buying technical stuff online. What happens if I get stuck? You know? What if I'm halfway through the installation and I have a question? You don't want to be left totally on your own with a bunch of parts and a confusing manual. This is where real support makes all the difference. We're not talking about a chatbot or a generic call center. We're talking about US-based support from people who are actual product experts. They can look at your specific project, help you figure out exactly what parts you need, and even help you with questions you have during the install. That's a level of help you're probably not going to find in aisle 12. So, when you put it all together, you've got the certified safety, you've got a much better price, and you've got expert support, it becomes really clear. This isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's about taking control of your own project and doing it on your own terms. Let's just put it all side by side. Compared to your standard big box store, the advantages are just crystal clear. The price is lower because it's factory direct. The safety certification is the exact same critical UL 103 HT standard. And the support comes from US-based experts, not just general store staff. It really changes how you look at the decision, doesn't it? Which really leaves us with just one last question to think about. In a world where you can connect directly with the people who actually make the things you need, why would you ever pay for a whole chain of middlemen you don't even need? It's definitely something to chew on for your next project. Thanks for tuning in.